Hello all, Initiate of the Universe here, and I'm going to show you how to use a pendulum. So pendulums, I guess, could be used to find water or resources or energy, but today we're going to use it in finding answers. So this is just a piece to a notebook that I ripped off. That's all that it is. It was cute. I love unicorns, and I have a connection to the unicorns, so I use this, and it's all kind of bent and torn. That's fine. That's not the important. I mean, that is important because it's something that I care about, but it is kind of old. I would say at least 10 years that I've used this. So I'm going to show you how to use a pendulum with this, and then this right here. So this here is the Archangel Metatron, or the Flower of Life, and it just shows the connection of all things. No matter where you start, it's connected to the next thing, which means the flower of life. The however you want to look at that. So I use a lot of the Metatron stuff in everything that I do. So this is just a crystal that I have, and it brings in energy and sends it out in a different direction. Like if it's negative energy, especially if it's negative energy, that I just don't want to receive. So I use this a lot with majority of my readings. Any of my work, I always call on the Archangel Metatron. He brings life. She brings life and gives life and continues life. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's just transferred. That's good to know for everything that you do. Like if you continue down, like being negative, and receiving that negative energy or perceived as negative, you have to transmute that energy into something else, somewhere else, and bring in the positive. It cannot be destroyed. It will just be moved. So whether you picture it going to a burn pit and burning up into ash, or whether you picture it leaving you, it cannot be destroyed. It's just going to move. How are you going to move it? I move it into positive white light energy. Through the white light, all my information comes, and the connection to the Metatron, Archangel Metatron. And this is in a lot of the church windows over here in Europe for sacred geometry. So if you find the connection, or if you understand it in a different way, that's perfect. This is just how my interpretation of it and how I use it. But I use this for everything. So I'm going to put that there. And that's also here, but it's in purple and gold. And on the back of this is something interesting. It's a meter, if you will. And it just has a bunch of different numbers going around it. So in the red is kind of a low frequency range, yellow, blue, and then it goes into your violet over to your white. So Jesus is around here in this area, which is between 300,000 to 700,000. He's in the 12th dimension. So that energy is pretty high, just so you know. So before we do the pendulum with questions, I'm going to check my energy level, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you this right here is my husband's pendulum. It's an amethyst attached by a silver chain, and it likes him more. That's why I call it my husband's. This one here, when people ask me to do readings on them or pendulum readings, I set it to depends on what they're asking for. So these are for two different people, and I just tie a little string on it. I do have an abundance of these stones laying around, but just to show you, you can use just a string and a stone. It's that easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest my hand very still, and then I'm going to ask, what is my energy? So it's going off into the purple and white. Okay, and whenever I want to ask, like in between people, I say okay, as in like kind of going back to center. And that's what it's doing right now, going back to center. And if you can see the shadow on it, it's actually going in a small circle right now. Okay, and then I'll ask, what is my mother's energy? And just think about that person and hold that person in your mind while you're asking the question. And immediately it starts going towards the red. So that's very true. She's very judgmental, very critical, very negative person. The world is terrible. So her energy is absolutely in the red. In the red. Okay? Now it's circling back in the middle. I'll ask, what is my husband's energy? And think about that person. And his is over in the blue, almost purple. So that's with a yarn. Oops. And this one is an amethyst stone. It's different, slightly different from my husband's. His is a little bit more heavier, but I'm going to show you with another variation. So that one is a crystal, this one is a stone. Okay. I'm going to hold it, and I'm just holding it between my two fingers, just to where it won't slide through. If you wanted to see that. Okay. And I get it to say okay as if to zero in on that center spot. And I'll say, okay, what is Jesus's energy? And as I said before, his is over between the 300,000 to 500,000. And that's where it's going right now. Okay. And I say, okay, it brings it back to center. What is my energy? Think about that person. Okay. Let's go back to center. What is my husband's energy? Okay, what is my son's energy? So his is in the yellow. But that's using just a string, and this. Many people use this like over people who are getting ready to have a baby. They'll use maybe the spouse's ring or the mother's ring and put a string over it and ask, will it be a boy or a girl? Those types of questions. And it's good for finding out. It's just very interesting. So that's this. It's a piece of wood that was created. I'm going to put this over here. Now remember the unicorn. Now I've used this for a long time because I like unicorns and it's amazing. So on here I have just two arrows. One says yes, the other one says no. These can get very intricate. Like you can put on there just about any kind of, it's kind of like, I seen somebody who did the alphabet on it. To me that's more like a Ouija board. That's up to you whether you want to do that. But you can put in months, you can put in dates, you can put in days, days of the week, months of the year. there's really no limit as to what you can put on here and receive answers to. I like to keep it simple. So in doing this, it just says yes, no. And I'm going to show you my pendulum. So I have two. I use many different types, but these two here are my favorite. One's rose gold and the other one is copper. Now I use copper, especially with the crystal. It generates so much energy. You'll see here in a minute. So the crystal is just right in front. I'm going to hold it again in my fingers. I'm just resting my elbow on the table right over, and so it's already going crazy. Moving, not really going crazy. So I try to put it in the center so that way I ask the question, and I will ask, all I'll say is yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, once I get a confirmed yes, and it's going the direction of yes, I'll say, okay. And then I'll say, oh, I can wait for it to center. And then I'll say, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, so now I call this being calibrated. So it's going to respond yes or no. And it's kind of a pulse in your body as to how you feel about whatever you're being asked at first. And then, you'll get calibrated yourself to being in tune with the copper and the crystal, or if you just use crystals, whatever it is you use, it's right for you. There's really not really a wrong answer. You just gotta, sometimes it will take practice. I've been doing it for so long that I just pick up and do it. This weekend I picked up two other crystals, and my grandson knocked it off the table and broke both of them. But whenever I was testing them out, they were responding very well. So without further ado, it's in agreement to me. Okay, without further ado, so I'll ask questions. Like, is this going to reach many people and help them? Okay. And I always say okay in between is, again, kind of a 0 point, like go back to the middle. Can we receive messages from higher power? Okay. Is it going to snow today? And after you ask the question, you want to kind of think about what you're asking. Because when you think about it, like if you just ask but don't really think about it, it's just going to spin in a circle. Either clockwise or counterclockwise. That's what it's doing right now. Oh. There you go. I thought about snow. And it's not going to snow. It is fall here, but it's not going to snow. So that part's good. Oh, let me readjust my table. And then I will ask it, will I receive company this month? It's saying no. that's kind of a relief. I just had company at my house all last month, so I'm kind of happy to see that. Okay. Will I go to All Shift Now in Germany? Wow. Wow, I really likes that one. Okay. Will we experience ET contact? Okay. So I think I moved out of camera shot whenever I adjusted the table. Sorry. Okay. So, do I regularly make contact with ETs? And this is true. I set up a drum circle, and after the drum circle, we have a fire. And then after the fire, I show people how to connect with extraterrestrial life or encounters. And thanks for the confirmation. So, okay. Oh, okay. Should I buy a bigger telescope? Oh, wow. That's saying no. Okay. So do you get the gist? You just hold it. You think, you say, I say it out loud because I'm in my own space. And you have to think of what it is that you actually want. Like if you say something, but then you think something else, it's going to give you the answer for what you're actually thinking of. Until you become proficient at it, and whatever you pick it up, it's just going to react. And we're going to show you a different one. So that's my copper one. This one here is a rose gold little metal. I'm not even sure what type of metal it is. I just like the color, so I picked it up. And these are heavy, like less likely to break than, the crystals. I love the crystals too, but you gotta be very, very gentle with them. I'm not saying I'm not gentle, I'm just saying, so this one's a little bit longer. This one has a ball at the end. Oops. Can you see? Yeah, okay. So yes. This one has always responded really well to me. Okay. No. No. Okay, and whenever it goes in between the yes and the no, that's a maybe. So that's why I had to say it twice. And now it's on track. Thank you. I always give thanks because, it's just a good habit to get in for giving gratitude. Thanks for working out with me today. Thanks for being here today. I really appreciate that. No matter what time that you're viewing this, I am really thoroughly happy that you view this. Or, learn something from it. Maybe you're not learning anything. Maybe you're just here for entertainment. That's fine too. Whatever you consider it, the seeds are already planted. So that makes me happy. Okay, so a question I will ask is, will I have a session this week? Okay. Come back to center. Okay, let's think about a bunch of things. I want to see if I can get it to go in a circle so you guys can see what that's like. There you go. So I'm not really thinking of anything in particular. I was thinking about rocks and crystals in a museum that I went to. And then start doing this. It's excited that I went there, but I'm not really asking a question. So it's just following the flow of my energy. So come back to center. Okay. Like kind of calling yourself to attention or like refocus. And then once it's back to center. Okay. Now, will Texas get snow this week? Apparently I'm stuck on snow. But sorry, Texas, this week, October 5th, you will not get any snow. It does not like that. Okay? Will Florida get hit with another hurricane in the month of October? All right. And, okay. It's kind of a recenter. Goes back to the middle. I'm trying to think of a question. Ooh. Okay, so the other day, let me tell you this story real quick. I still am with the military, just by the way. And the other day, a soldier had committed suicide. And they found him in his car. Did they notify the family yet? Okay. Of that soldier. It says yes. Thank you. Okay. And then I will ask a question of along the lines of kind of why he did it. So, was he lonely? It's a big thing being overseas, well, being anywhere in the military. It's the hardest part. You're surrounded by other people just like you, but you're very lonely. Okay. Will they ship his car home? Okay. Because that's where they found him, is in his car. Okay. Is the soldier sorry that he did it? Okay. Is he in the resting place? Okay. Did he get trapped in a cell? Okay. Was he greeted by loved ones? That's nice. Okay. Will he go to the healing temple? Okay. So, to recenter. Oh, Hello. So that was an introduction to pendulums, and hopefully if you try it, just try to feel comfortable with what you're doing, what you're getting, what you're receiving. Make sure you can have a list of questions right beside you. I have a pen that I keep near, and usually a list of questions, or somebody will send me questions to ask for them because they're too afraid of it. It doesn't have mystical power. You're the one who gives it power. It's based off of the current energy through your hands, your pulse. And the more connected you are, the better the message that you'll get. So you can create your own. You can buy it online, or you can make it. It's easy. It does not take a lot. You can even take a rock and you can charge it. You put it in your hand. So whenever you get a new rock, new crystal, new stone, you put it in your left hand, your non-dominant hand, and you release the energy. Remember, energy cannot be destroyed. It can be exchanged, moved. So you release the energy, and then you put it to your right hand, and you allow the energy to come in. I don't know who here, if anybody goes to church, but if you do and you stand there, you see people raising their hands, they're allowing the energy to come through. They're wanting to receive. And if they're doing it a different way, like reverse, they're wanting to send. So they're transmitting energy through their hands. And I don't even know that they consciously know that they're doing that, but that's why they're doing that. And if you want an example of how to do that, like rub your hands together, the friction, and then pull it apart. You'll feel a little resistance. That's the energy. That's the connection. And some people can see aura. There's so many different ways that you can feel and send that. Check, see if you have a pulse. You have energy. You are energy. So you can send and receive messages. That's just a physical way to see those messages once you ask. So it's kind of interesting. Well, to me it's interesting, so I'm going to share it. But you just put it out there, ask the question, and you will get an answer. So you can use it to help you. You don't have to use it for everything, kind of like a magic 8-ball. Use it for whenever you feel, comfortable. Like, am I second guessing myself? Until you don't have to second guess yourself, and you just trust and you allow whatever message is coming through, you allow it to come through. So that's pendulum in a nutshell. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'll be here and I'll try to get to you as soon as possible because you are my number one priority. Thoughts are things. Remember that. Whatever you think, whatever you believe, that's exactly what you're going to get. So open your mind, allow yourself to explore these opportunities, and just watch how you'll grow. Watch the light come in. The people that you want to be around you will surround you. The instances, the circumstances, your life will begin to shift and change. And if you try it, fine. If not, that's fine too. But just know that it's a possibility of something you can do. You are capable of it. It's up to you. Bring in your consciousness. Expand your consciousness, your frequency, your love. Know that you are loved. So for today, have a great day.